Hello everyone. So in this video we'll talk about Google Task, which is a task management application offered to you by Google, and we use it to create a record of all the tasks that you are going to do or you will be doing later on. So in this video we will talk about the top 5 Google Task automation that you can create and integrate it with multiple applications. So what you can do is connect Google Sheet and Google Task in such a way that you can create tasks in Google Task with the help of the items in Google Sheet and also do the vice versa. Then you can also integrate ClickUp and Google Tasks to balance the task at both the places. Secondly, you can save new tasks from Google Tasks in Notion database as well. And then in the end, you can also create items in Google Tasks with the help of Google Form submissions. So you can create all these automations with the help of Pabbly Connect. Let us learn how to do that.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn how to create new tasks in Google Tasks from Google Sheets in real time. So, as we know that Google Sheets is a spreadsheet program where we can create and share the spreadsheets, while Google Task is a task management software. So, in this use case, I want that whenever a new row is added in my Google Sheets, it should automatically get updated on Google Task. But here the problem is that there is no direct connection between Google Sheets and Google Task. So how the data will be captured and transferred between both these software applications? For this, we are going to use a third-party software, that is Pabbly Connect. So basically, Pabbly Connect is an automation and integration software which will help us in integrating Google Sheets with Google Task. The best part here is it doesn't require any coding skills or programming knowledge. And even a non-technical person can do this very easily. Let us check this in a real time with an example. So this is my Google Sheet and these are my Google Tasks. Now I want that whenever I create a new row in this and fill up some details, it should automatically go to Google Task. It should get updated in my Google Task. So I'm going to create an entry over here. So let us say as employee details. Now in the notes I'm giving it as enter the details of the new employees. Okay, then say due date as 16th of August 2021. So I have filled in some details. Let us check whether Google Task has received this information or not. So now here you can see this is my Google Task and the details, the employee details which we have filled in our Google Sheet, it has been captured over here. So you might be wondering, how did I manage to transfer the data from my Google Sheets to my Google Task? So I have done this in just 3 simple steps, and the automation, the process has created automatically. Okay, so let's come and see the steps. Step 1. Connect Pabbly Connect to Google Sheets with the help of webhook URL. So here, first we have to go to Pabbly Connect. Then Pabbly Connect is going to give us a webhook URL. That URL we have to paste it in our Google Sheets. With the help of webhook URL, we will create an integration between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. In step 2, collect the data from Google Sheets in Pabbly Connect. So in step 2, Pabbly Connect is going to collect and capture all the data that is entered in our Google Sheets. In step 3, send the same data to Google Task from Pabbly Connect. So whatever the data Pabbly Connect has captured from Google Sheets, the same data will be transferred to Google Task. So basically, we are integrating Google Sheets with Google Task using Pabbly Connect in these just 3 simple steps. Now, let us see the process and learn how to create the integration. For this, let us type Pabbly pabbly.com in our browser. Here we have to click on products and click on connect. as you are the first time user, you have to click on sign up for free option. As I already have an account with Pabbly Connect, I am going to click on sign in. Now, here we have to go down and we have to come to connect and click on access now. The page is getting loaded. Okay, so here you can see the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. This is the dashboard. Here we have to go on this plus sign and we have to click on create workflow. Now it is asking for the workflow name. So in my case, I am giving the workflow name as Google Sheets to Google Tasks. As I want the data to be captured from Google Sheets and transferred to Google Tasks. So I am giving the workflow name as per my requirement. So you can give the workflow name as per your requirement also. Now let's click on create. Now we can see a trigger window and an action window. So you might be thinking, what is trigger, what is action? So basically, Pabbly Connect works on the concept of trigger and action. Trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So in our case, this time we are integrating Google Sheets to Google Task. So here for the trigger, we are going to select Google Sheets. So let us select Google Sheets. Now here it is asking for a trigger event. Let us click here. Here I am going to select new spreadsheet row as I want the data to be captured from a new row whenever a new row is created. So I am selecting new spreadsheet row. Here we can see a webhook URL is given as well as some steps are given. So let us read the first step. It has given create a new spreadsheet, then navigate to the add-ons and click on get add-ons. So we are following these instructions, and as I have already created my Google Sheet, a new spreadsheet. So I have created it. This is my new spreadsheet. Okay, this is my new spreadsheet, and it has asked us to click on add-ons. Let's click on add-ons and again click on get add-ons. Here it has taken us to Google Workspace Marketplace. Now we have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. You can see you have to install Pabbly Connect webhooks on your system. Now you can see that it has already been installed on my system. So I'm just closing it. But after installing, remember to refresh your Google Sheet. I repeat, after installing, please refresh your Google Sheet. Now here again we need to click on add-ons. The page is getting loaded. Okay. Now this time we have to go to Pabbly Connect webhooks and click on initial setup. Okay, so here you can see a webhook URL is given. It is asking for a webhook URL. So it will be the same webhook URL that we have seen in Pabbly Connect. See, the same URL is given over here. So we just have to copy this. I will be going to my Google Sheet again, and here I am going to paste the same URL. Now it is asking for a trigger column. So the trigger column will be your final data column on which, if the data is added, the whole of that row data will be sent to the webhook URL. It means I am having the columns till A, B and C. I am just closing it to show you again. See, I have the data in column A, column B and column C. So in this time I want the data to be captured till column C. So I will be selecting column C. Okay. If you have the data till column G, so you can select column G if you want the data to be captured till column G. Okay. So let us click on add-ons again, Pabbly Connect webhooks and initial setup. Now here we are going to paste the same webhook URL which was here. I am copying it again so that you don't get confused. I'm going to my Google Sheet. I'm just erasing it and I'm pasting it again. Now here my trigger column is column C. Now let us click on Send Test. Now here you can see test data sent successfully. Employee details and other details are mentioned over here. Let's click on Submit. Now let us see whether Pabbly Connect has captured the data or not. But before that, remember, again we have to click on Add-ons, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and this time we have to click on Send on Event. Make sure when you click on Send on Event, recheck that Send on Event has a tick mark on this. So basically, I have to give information to you that if you have logged in through multiple Gmail accounts, an error will be reflecting saying that kindly log out from other Google accounts and log into just one Google account to use the add-ons correctly. So to avoid this error, the best way is to, whenever you use a Google Sheet trigger, open your Google Sheets in the incognito mode. You can see I have opened my Google Sheets and other sheets also in the incognito mode. So it has single user login, so we don't get the errors over here. Okay. Now let us move to Pabbly Connect and check that the data has been captured or not. Yes, here we can see response received, title as employee details. This is the same data which was in our Google Sheet. Let us check again. See, employee details. In the notes, enter the details of new employees and collect the required documents. Here also we can see the same details. Enter the details of new employees. Okay, and due date 6 August 2021. So now we can see that Pabbly Connect is integrated with our Google Sheets. Now here we can see the due date as 6th August 2021. But here I want to give you an information that Google Task does not accept this type of date format. So now we are going to convert this date format into the time zone format also. Date as well as the time zones should be there. So let's click on the action window now and select date and time formatter. Now here in the action window, we have to select format date with the time zone. Let's click on Connect. Now it is asking for the date from the time zones, to format and to time zone. So here in the date we have to basically fill up the details which Pabbly has fetched from Google Sheets, this due date. So we are going to select this due date in our date row over here. So let us select Google Sheets and let us select the due date. Now from time zone, it is asking from time zone. So as we are in India, I am selecting the time zone. You can select the time zone as per your country. Now here in the format, we have to select the date as well as the time zones also. So let us search for the correct time zone. Yes, it is year, month, date and time zones are minutes, seconds, and this time zone we need to select. I am selecting this one. Now again I am selecting two time zone as Kolkata, Asia. Okay, and now just click on Save and Send Test Request. Here we can see in the result the date has been changed. So let's click on Save now. Data saved successfully. Okay, so now we have integrated Google Sheets with our Pabbly Connect and we have changed the date also. Now we have to create the integration with Google Task. So here we are in the action window. I am going to select Google Task. Let us select Google Task. In the action event, I am going to select create task. And let's click on connect. Here we are going to select add new connection and connect with Google Task. Now it is asking to choose an account. So I am choosing my personal account in this. You can choose the account in which you want the Google Task to be updated. So I am selecting my account over here. And now it is asking for the access. I am giving the access. Click on continue. Don't worry, our data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect. Authorization successful. Great. So now we can see some more fields are added over here. So you might be wondering from where these fields came. So here you can see some my task, Pabbly task, Magnet Brains task, vendors, something are fetched out from somewhere. So when we go to our Google Task, we can find the task list over here. See, it means Pabbly Connect has fetched all my Google task list. All the same task list is mentioned over here. So now I want the data to be captured in Magnet Brains task. So I am selecting this, and here also I am selecting Magnet Brains task. Now the task title, notes and due date, these columns are fetched from our Google Sheets. Let us move to the Google Sheets. Here the data has been fetched, title, notes and due date. Okay. So basically we are going to map these fields, title, notes and due date. So let us map these details which we have fetched from Google Sheets. So the task title was, let us move again and see, the task title was employee details. So let us map it first. Task title, it's employee details. Now here in the notes where these were the notes, enter the details of new employees. So we are going to select this one. In the notes, let us select enter the details of new employees. This as the notes, and in the last row it is asking for the due date. So now we are not going to map the due date as this one, as we have already changed this due date in some other format. So this time we are going to map this format, the one we have changed, this one. Okay. So let us select this due date over there. In due date, I am filling the details as date and time formatter and this one. Okay, let us select this. Now let us click on save and send test request. Now it is showing response received, and in the title, employee details, in the notes, the description as well as the date has been updated. Okay. Now let us move down. Yes, this is the due date. It has been updated. Okay, now let us save it. It means now the data has been saved. Okay, now the Google Connect and our Google task are connected. Okay, now let us move to our Google task. You can see here employee details are being fetched over here. Okay, the same details which we have filled in our sheet, in our Google sheet. The same details are fetched out. Okay, now let us check this integration once again and let us fill some other details. Now this time I am going to fill my vendor details, say vendor details. Now here I am going to give the notes as same, enter the details of new vendors. This time I am going to change it as vendors. Enter the details of new vendors and collect all the required documents. Okay, let it be the same. In the due date, I am giving the due date as 10th of August 2021. Now let us check whether these details are captured in our Google Task or not, whether Google Task is updated or not. So let's move to Google Task. Here we can see the vendor details are also updated, the same which we have filled in our Google Sheet over here. Okay, so it means our integration is working fine. So now let us move to Pabbly Connect once again and let us see in a nutshell what we have done. I'm just minimizing these windows. Okay. So basically in the trigger window, we have selected Google Sheets so that whenever a new spreadsheet row is created in Google Sheet, the data will be sent to Pabbly Connect. Now here we have applied a date and time formatter to change the date format, the date and time format. Okay. Now when the data is collected in Pabbly, the same data is sent to Google Task. Okay. And we have created an integration between Google Sheets and Google Task successfully.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to add new ClickUp task as Google Task items. So ClickUp is a project planning and project management application, and Google Task is where you can keep the record of all the tasks you have done and you might have to do later. So if you want that every time a new task is created in ClickUp, so you want to add in your Google Task account about that task item. And this might sound a little difficult because both of these applications do not have a direct connection between them and you have to do both of these works manually. But let me tell you, we can actually automate this whole process with the help of Pabbly Connect. We will be creating an integration today where our trigger will be a new task created in ClickUp and our action will be new task item added in the Google Task. Let us learn how to do it. Today we will learn how to integrate your ClickUp account and your Google Task. Now as you can see, this is my ClickUp account and there are many other tasks already been created by me in different separate folders. And I want that every time a new task is created by me over here, this should be updated in my Google Task as a new task item. We will be doing this with the help of Pabbly Connect. As you can see, this is the landing page of Pabbly and on the right hand side I have two options, sign up for free and sign in. So if you don't have an existing account, you have to click on sign up for free, but I'm having one, so I will click on sign in, which will take me to the login page of Pabbly. I will click on sign in with Google and I will be directly logged in into Pabbly. When I will be able to see these applications that are provided to you by Pabbly. Now because we are connecting two applications, or we can say we are integrating two applications today, so we will be using Pabbly Connect. Click on access now and I will be further forwarded to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching over here, I will see a big blue button on the right hand side. I will click on the button because I want to create a fresh workflow. So now we have to name the workflow. Add new ClickUp task to Google Task items. Click on create and then a blank workflow will be created for you. You will be seeing two boxes with written trigger and action on it. Now what is a trigger and what is an action? Now trigger is when this happens, which means that whenever in this particular application that will be called your trigger application, an event will take place, this workflow will proceed in the direction of the action application and that particular action will be performed. So today our trigger application will be ClickUp and our trigger event will be a new task. Whenever a new task is created, this trigger will start working. Now before you connect, make sure that you have opened your ClickUp account in a separate tab. Click on connect, select add new connection and then it will ask you to enter the API token of your ClickUp account. For that you can read these lines given below. It will help you find the API token. So it's written that log into your ClickUp account that we have already done. Click on the profile icon at the bottom left corner and go to apps. So let's just follow these. Bottom left corner is this and then applications. This will take you to the API token. Regenerate a new token, a fresh token. Go back to Pabbly Connect and paste your API token over here. Click on save and your connection will be established. Now you have to pay attention to the workspace name, space name, folder name, because this will decide from where the new task will be collected, or we can say captured by Pabbly Connect. So if you are creating your task in, let's just say, Pabbly leads, let us select new leads to add new task over here. So we were adding a new task here and the name of the workspace over here is Ashi's workspace. That is correct. The space name is connect, the folder name is Pabbly leads and the list name is new leads. So that is all correct, as we can cross check it from here in our account. So before we click on save and send test request, remember that you have to go back to your ClickUp account and create a new task over here. Click on save and send test request and then come here to create a new task. For example, you are creating a task of make a list of all the pending orders. Okay, and then when you save it, make sure you assign it to somebody. For example, we are assign it to Gary. A due date, decide a due date for that. Making of the list is this. And then set it to the priority, that it is high priority task. Now you have created this. You go back to Pabbly Connect and check for the response. The response has been received and you can see that yes, this is the one, this is the task you were talking about. Make a list of all the pending orders. The list name, the folder name, all the details, the URL of the new task has been captured by Pabbly Connect, and even the one whosoever is the task assigned to. So now our ClickUp, that is our trigger application, has been done successfully. Now comes our action application. So the action application is going to be Google Task. But before that, what is important is the due date, the date updated, the date created. All these dates are given in the timestamp format because this is how it is captured from here by Pabbly Connect. But because Google Task is a part of Google Calendar, so we need to have the date in somewhat this format. For that purpose, you need to put a feature over here that is called date time formatter by Pabbly. Datetime formatter Pabbly, you want only the date to be formatted, not the time, because you did not enter any specific time. There was only this date. The date was 24th. Okay, so you have to select the due date over here because that is what you want to format. Click on connect. There is no separate way of connecting datetime formatter to Pabbly Connect because it is a built-in feature by Pabbly. Now you have to enter the date. So you have to do a little bit of mapping over here. Now what is mapping? Mapping is creating a pathway to insert data to one step from the previous step. For example, it is asking you to insert data from the previous step. What is the previous step? This is the previous step. And there are dates in the previous step that you have to map over here. So you have to map, remember, the due date. We don't need the date of creation, but we do need the due date, that when is the task going to be completed. So click on due date. This is the date you want to format. It is in which format? It is in the timestamp format. This format. Millisecond format. Okay. And then to what format you want to change it? So you want to change it in this format in which Google Calendar accepts it. It accepts in this format. So click on save and send test request and see. Here you have the formatted date. Click on save. And now this information will be required to fill when you put the action application and when you have to enter the due date in your action application. So just add your action application, that is going to be Google Tasks. And the action event will be to create a task. Because a task has already been created over here. When a new task is created in your trigger application, then automatically that new task will be also created in your Google Task. Click on add new connection and then link your account over here. Click on allow, give access. And then your accounts are connected. Now you have to check about the task list. Do you have many lists? No, you just have one list, and if you want you can create a separate list. So just click on create list and you can name it as new list. So now we have two different lists so that we can understand the feature of choosing the list. Refresh it again and see you have the two options. You want that all these data that you are going to create in your ClickUp account should be going to new list and getting added over there. So this is what you have added. Now what is going to be the task title? Task title you have to choose from ClickUp only. This is the drop down menu that will provide you with all the responses you received in your trigger application. Okay, so you have to map it from this response. The name is going to be the name of the list, that it is coming from which list. New leads is the list name, that is going to be the title, and the notes will be what is the task actually that should be done is making a list. Now comes the due date. So see, here again it has given you the format that this is the example of the due date you should have. And see, we have the same format that we have formatted right now. So this is great that we don't have to do any further changes, but make sure that you select the due date from the datetime formatter itself. Select the result and then click on Save and Send Test Request. And yes, first of all, when this response receives, then check if there is any error written on it. There is no error. All the title, the date, the link, the notes, the status, everything has been updated successfully. Click on Save. By this, you're saving your workflow. And then go back and check that yes, a new task has been added. The title was New Leads and this was the note of the task that you just added. If you see, the due date is given over here, that is tomorrow is the due date. Okay, so now which means that yes, our task has been completed successfully. Workflow has been created nicely. Let us do a quick recap of the whole workflow. Our workflow was in 3 steps: ClickUp, datetime formatter and Google Task. It could have been in 2 steps if we did not need the date to be formatted. But because the capturing of the date was in a timestamp format, you had to change it to the format in the way which the Google Calendar accepts it. So our trigger was ClickUp. As a new task is added in your ClickUp account, this response will be captured by Pabbly Connect. The date time will be formatted by this datetime formatter feature by Pabbly, and further the information will be transferred to Google Task and a new task will be created. And this response will be received, which will say that yes, your work has been successfully done. So this was the video. I hope this helped.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn how to add new task from Google Task to Google Sheets automatically. So basically, Google Task is a task management software and Google Sheet is a spreadsheet program where we can create and share the spreadsheets. In my use case, whenever a new task is added in Google Task, it should automatically get updated on my Google Sheets. But here, the problem is that there is no direct connection between Google Task and Google Sheets. So how the data will be transferred between these two software applications? For this, we are going to use a third-party software, that is Pabbly Connect. So basically, Pabbly Connect is an automation and integration software which will help us in integrating Google Task with Google Sheets automatically. The best part here is it doesn't require any coding skills or programming knowledge. Even a non-technical person can do this in few simple steps. So now let us check this in the real time. So this is my Google Sheet, vendors data, and this is my Google task list, that is vendors. So I want that whenever I create a new task in this vendor task list, it should automatically get updated in my Google Sheet. So let us create a new task. I'll click on add a task and I'm giving the title as vendor details. I'm giving the description details as enter the details of the vendors, and I'm giving the date and time as say 10th of August, and let's click on OK. So I have created a task here. Now let's see whether this task has been updated in my Google Sheet or not. Let us refresh this Google Sheet. So now here we can see the details that we have filled in our Google task, the vendor details. It's been fetched in our Google Sheet automatically. So you might be wondering, how did I manage to add the details of my Google task into my Google Sheets, that too automatically? So let me tell you that I have done this in just 3 simple steps, and anyone can do this. So let us move on to our steps. In step 1, connect Pabbly Connect with Google Task. So in step 1, we are going to create an integration with Pabbly Connect and Google Task. Now at step 2, collect the data from Google Task in Pabbly Connect. So basically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the data from Google Task. And in step 3, send the same data to Google Sheets from Pabbly Connect. So the data which Pabbly Connect has captured from Google Task, the same data will be sent to the Google Sheets. So basically, we have created an integration between Google Task and Google Sheets with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now let us learn the steps. Let us learn how to create the integration. For this, let us write Pabbly pabbly.com in our browser. Now here we have to go on products and click on connect. Here, as you are the first time user, you have to click on sign up for free option. As I already have an account with Pabbly Connect, I am just clicking on sign in option. Here we have to scroll down to connect and then click on access now. Now this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here we have to click on this plus sign, create workflow. I am giving the workflow name as Google Task to Google Sheets. Google Sheets. You can give the task workflow name as per your requirement. And let's click on create. Here we can see a trigger window and an action window. So you might be thinking, what is trigger window and what is action window? So here I must tell you that Pabbly Connect works on the concept of trigger and action. So trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So in this case, whenever a new task is added in Google Task, it should get updated in the Google Sheet. So in the trigger, we have to select Google Task. Let us click on trigger column, trigger window and select Google Task. Okay. Now it is asking for a trigger event. Let us click on this. Now in this case, I am selecting the trigger event as a new task. And let's click on connect. Here I am going to click on add new connection and connect with Google Task. Now here it is asking to choose an account. We are going to choose the account in which we want the data to be captured. That is my personal account. So I am selecting this account because my Google tasks are created in this account. Here is asking for some access. I am just clicking on continue. No worries, our data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect. Okay, so now it is showing connected. Now you can see a task list is given. So you might be wondering from where this task list is come. So here when we go on our Google Task, we can find this task list over here. My task, Pabbly task, vendors, magnet brain task. All these are the task lists which I have created already, and the same has been fetched over here. See, let me refresh this. It is getting refreshed. Okay. Yes, the same task list we can see over here. My task, Pabbly task, magnet brain task and vendors. So this time I am selecting my magnet brains task list. And here also let me open the same task list, magnet brains task list. Okay. So I have selected the same task list at both the accounts, and now I am going to click on save and send test request. Now here you can see the label response is received, but here we cannot find any value over here because in this task list we have not created any of the tasks. So let us create a task here. See the task name as employee details, and the details I'm going to give it as enter the details of the employees, enter the details of the employees, and let me give the date as 12th of August. Okay. So now here we can see we have entered the details. Now let us again click on save and send test request. Now here we can see the data has been captured. Okay, the title as employee details, the title this one which we have given over here, the same title, and enter the details of the employees as a description, as notes. See here, enter the details of employees, and the due date as 12th of August. The same date, yes, 12th of August. So here we have created an integration between Pabbly Connect and Google Task. Now let's click on save. Data saved successfully. Okay, so now in the action window, I want Google Sheets because I want the data to be sent from Google Task to Google Sheets. So let us select Google Sheets. Here in the action event, I am going to select it as add new row because I want a new row to be added every time. Let's click on connect. Here also again I have to click on add new connection and connect with Google Sheets. Now again it is asking for the to choose an account. So this time I am again choosing the same account. And here again we have to give the access. Let's click on continue. Authorization successful. Great. So now we can see it is showing us select spreadsheet. So what is this spreadsheet? Let us go to my Google Sheets first. Okay, it is getting opening. Okay. Now here we can see vendor data, magnet brains, demo. So I have made some spreadsheets over here in my Google Sheets. So when I go to Pabbly Connect, we can find the same spreadsheets, vendor, magnet brains, and many other spreadsheets are also fetched out. So I'm going to select magnet brains spreadsheet. And let me open the same spreadsheet over here also, magnet brains demo. Okay, so now it is asking for me to select the sheet. So basically when we go to our Google Sheet, here in the bottom we can see the sheet numbers are given. So I don't have any other sheets, so I'm just selecting sheet 1. You can select the sheets in which you want to capture the data. So I'm selecting sheet 1. Okay, now we can see title, notes and due date is given. So here we can see the title, notes and due date over here also that I have made in my Google Sheet, as well as in my Google Task. We have given a title, a description, that is a notes, and the date. Okay, so basically whatever the data we have captured in Pabbly Connect from our Google Task, we have to map the same details. The title, that is employee details, I am going to map the same details here also. In title, we are going to select it as employee details. Now here in the notes where enter the details of employees, so I am selecting this one. Google Task, and let us select the notes, enter the details of employees, this one, and the last one is due date. So the due date was 12th of August 2021. So I am selecting the same due date. And this one is the due date. Let us select this. And now let us click on save and send test request. Okay, so here we can see that the data has been fetched and it has created an integration now. Let us click on save and check whether the data is being forwarded to our Google Sheet or not. Let's save it. Data saved successfully. Now let us move to our Google Sheet and we need to refresh this page. Okay, so here I want to give you an important information. Actually, Google Task may take response time of 5 to 10 minutes. So we may not get the response immediately. So no need to worry for that. We can just wait for some time and we can refresh the page and the data will be captured. So now here we can see the data is being captured in my Google Sheet, the Google task which we have created over here. So now we can understand that our integration is working fine. So let us create another task. This time I am giving the task name as subscriber details. Okay, and I am giving the details as enter the details of the subscribers. And I'm giving the date as say 20 of August. And let's click on OK. Now again we have to go to our Google Sheet and we need to refresh it. And we need to refresh it. So here we can see the subscriber details. The data has already been fetched. The same data which we have filled in our Google task. Okay, so now let us see in a nutshell what we have done till now. Let me just minimize this windows. Okay, so in the trigger window we have selected Google task so that whenever a new task is added in our Google task, it should transfer the data to Pabbly Connect. And here in the action window, the Pabbly Connect is going to send the same data to our Google Sheets by creating a new row. So in this way, we have created a successful integration between Google Task and Google Sheets automatically. Thank you everyone.
So in this video, we are going to learn how to save new tasks from Google Task in Notion database. Now suppose guys, you and your team members are using Google Tasks to manage or assign all the tasks related to your work. And you want to create a backup, a record of all the tasks which are being created in your Google Task account. So let me tell you, you can completely automate this process of creating a backup in Notion. So the trigger of this automation will be creating a new task in our Google Task account. So whenever a new task will be created in your Google Task account, this automation will start, and using this automation, a new item with the same task details which are created in Google Tasks will be added in our Notion database. Now how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Task to Notion. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. So the idea here is, first, we have to connect our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect in this trigger window, so that every time we create a new task in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that new task should be captured inside Pabbly Connect. Then after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those new task details to our Notion database, so that we can create a new item over there. We can add that Google Task into a Notion database as well, that too automatically. So let's begin guys. Now here in trigger window, in choose app, search for Google Tasks. Select it. And then in trigger event from the drop down, we have 3 different trigger events. First one is the new task, second one is the new task list, and the third one is new task completed. So we are going to select this new task as the trigger event. Click on connect and select add new connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, just click on this sign in with Google button and then select your Google Task account in which you are creating new task. And after selecting the account, just scroll down and click on continue. And as we click on continue, we will see our Google Task account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first and the only thing it asks us is the task list. And in the drop down below, you can see a list of all the task lists which you have created in your Google Task account. So here guys, in my Google Task account, you will see that I have 4 different task lists. First one is Smart Tasks, second one is Trello, third one is the Pabbly team, and fourth one is the teamwork. So guys, I want to add that all the new tasks which I'm adding or creating in this task list named as teamwork, I want to add the details of all of those tasks into our Notion database. So here from the drop down, I'm going to select teamwork over here as the task list. After selecting your task list, whenever we are going to create on the save and send test request button, automatically the details or the data of the most recent task, the last task which we have created in this particular task list in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that task will be received inside Pabbly Connect over here. So let's do this. We are going to create a new task in this particular task list. For example, click on this add task button. The title is, just take an example of, let's enter the details. We have to integrate MailChimp inside Pabbly Connect. So this is the detail. Let's enter a due date. For example, 26th of January is the due date. Click on OK. After clicking on OK guys, you can see that just now we have added a new task in our Google Task account. Now we will get back to Pabbly Connect and click on this save and send test request button. And after clicking on save and send test request, here you can see that the details of the same task which we have just now created are received inside Pabbly Connect. So here we can see that we have the title of the task, MailChimp integration. Then here we can see the in notes, we can see the description of the task which we have added. And then here you can see the same due date, 26th of January 2023 as well, which we have added. Now this means guys, the first step of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully connected our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect so that whenever a new task will be created in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that task will be received inside Pabbly Connect. Now after this, let's move to our next step, and that is sending this new task details to Notion. For that, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose App, search for Notion. Just select it. And then in action event from the drop down, select the action event as create database item. Click on connect and select add new connection. Now here guys, in this action step, we have to connect our Notion account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this connect with Notion button. And then here basically because we have already logged into a Notion account in our browser, Pabbly Connect has detected the same account and it is asking us for the permission. Click on this select pages section. And then here it is asking us that the access permission of which page on our Notion account we want to give in Pabbly Connect. So here you can see that all the Notion pages which I have created in my Notion account over here, you can see all of these pages over here. And here it is asking us to which of these pages we want Pabbly Connect to give the access. So we are going to add the details in this particular page named as task details. So we are going to select it. But if you want, according to your requirement, you can basically give access to just a single page, or if you want, you can give access to all of the pages as well. Right now, I'm just selecting all the Notion pages which I have created and click on Allow Access button. After clicking on Allow Access, here you will see that our Notion account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the next thing it asks us is the database, that all the Notion pages whose access we have given while making the connection. In the drop down below, you can see a list of all the database which you have created in those pages. So I have this database named as task details. And in this particular database, we have created this table where we want to add the details of a new task from Google Task. So we are going to select this database task details from the drop down. If you have created any other database, you just have to select the database in which you want to add this data. Then after that, here you can see that we have some fields. Due date, task details, task name, and task ID. So in this table in the database, I have created 4 different columns of data: task ID, task name, task details, and due date. And you can see all of these 4 columns as field over here in Pabbly Connect. So here guys, in these given fields, we have to basically map or add the data which we want to add in the respective fields. Like we have received the due date of the task from Google Task. This is the response of the due date. So from this trigger response of Google Task, we are going to map this response over here in this field of due date. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and in the drop down below, from a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Task, select the respective response of due date and map it over here. So in this way, you can map the data in the respective fields according to your requirement. Now after this, let's map the task details as well. So here in task details, just click here. From the drop down, we have this response of nodes as task details. Just select it and map it. Then we have to map the task name. So just click here and from the drop down, select the name, the title of the task. And at last, the task ID. Just map the ID as well. So in this way, you can basically map other details as well. You just have to create some more columns, some more fields in the table of your Notion database, and then you can map all of the respective details according to your requirement. The last field which we have is of content. Like if you want that new database item which we are creating or the new row which we are adding in this Notion database in this table, you can basically add some content to that particular page as well. If you want, you can write a descriptive content up to 2000 characters as well. But if not, you can ignore it too. So right now, I'm just ignoring this field and we will click on the Save and Send Test Request button. Now, when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, basically the details of a new task which we have created in our Google Task account are now added in our Notion database. So let's check it. We will go to our Notion database. And yes, guys, here you can see that in the same table, in the same database, a new row of data is added. When we will open it, we will see all the details over here. We have the task ID, we have the name of the task, we have the due date, we have the task details and other details as well. And as I told you, if you want, you could have also entered some content. Then the content which, if you have added some content over here in this actions tab, the same content can be seen over here in this field under this page. So in this way, guys, we can see that the connection or the automation workflow which we have created between Google Task and Notion using Pabbly Connect, this automation workflow is working perfectly fine. And after setting up this automation, we just have to test this automation once. So here, guys, we are going to create another task in our Google Task account. Click on this Add a Task button and give this task a name as, for example, real-time test. This is the name of the task. Let's add the detail as we are just testing this automation in real time. So this is the details and let's set their date as 24th of January, tomorrow's date. Click on OK. So just now, guys, here you can see that we have added a new task in our Google Task account. And as we add this task, within 10 minutes, the details of this task will be captured by Pabbly Connect. So guys, the connection between Google Task and Pabbly Connect is a polling based connection. And in this type of connection, as you can see, every 10 minutes, Pabbly Connect will go to our Google Task account and check whether we have added any new task in last 10 minutes or not. If we have added any new task, it will get the details of all the new tasks which we have added, and this automation workflow will be triggered, it will be started. And then using this automation, we are going to add those details into our Notion database. So guys, what we have to do, we just have to wait for 10 minutes over here. Okay, so we have successfully waited for 10 minutes. Now let's check our Notion database. And yes, guys, here you can see that the same task which we have just now created in our Google Task account is now added in our Notion database. We have the same task ID, we have the task name, real-time test, we have the description of the task and the due date of the task, 24th of January 2023, the same date which we have selected. So guys, we have tested this automation in real time and it is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever a new task will be created in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that task will be added in our Notion database as a new item. So not just these applications, guys, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of the same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
In this video, we are going to see how to create Google Tasks for new Google Forms responses. So let's say that you're using Google Form as a form builder application where every time a new response has been received. So with this information, you want to create a task in Google Task. Now for this, you will have to set up some integration between the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application would be Google Forms and your action application would be Google Task. Now how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, we can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in. As I do that, here we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. And here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, we can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this. And a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is that every time a form is filled, and here I have taken the form builder application as Google Forms. So every time we receive a new response, then with the information received, we should be able to create a Google task. So I'm going to name it as create Google task for new Google form responses. Let's click on create. As we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens. Action is do this. Basically, action is the response of our trigger application. Now, as per this integration, my trigger application would be Google Forms. Let's click on this. And now the trigger event. So this is the event that will make my workflow run. So it would be new response received. Here you can see that it is written that this trigger will instantly capture new incoming data and the workflow execution will start in real time, which means that it has got no polling time. Here we have received a webhook URL which is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect and Google Forms. I'm going to copy this, and now we are supposed to follow the following steps. So please read this carefully, and now I'm going to show you what we have to do. So first we have to go to our Google Forms. So this is my Google form that I already have created. The name is task details, new task, and here I have the following fields: task name, notes, then I've got task list. So these are the lists which are already there in my Google task, and I just want to associate my new task in one of my list. And then we have got the due date. So the last field that we have here, so we can see a field required. I'm going to toggle this towards the right, which basically means that this is now turned on. So as soon as the person fills up this form and this last field is filled, then automatically the response would be received. Now we have to go to responses. And then we have got these three dots. As I click on this, so we have to select the response destination. Here we have got two options: create a new spreadsheet and select existing spreadsheet. So I'm going to select create a new spreadsheet and then click on create. So here we can see that it has been linked to a spreadsheet. Now I'm going to click on this sheet icon, and here we can see that a sheet has been created with the following fields. So we have got all the fields that were a part of my Google form. I'm just going to format this so that it is clearly visible to you. So we have got the task name, notes, task list, due date, and here we also have another field which is timestamp. This is going to register the date and time of the data received. Now what we have to do is we have to go back to our Google form, and here we are going to preview. So now I'm going to fill up this form. Let's say the name of the task is new task 123, and then we have the notes. So I'm just going to write demo notes. Here you can fill in the description. Now what is the task list? It is my task, and then the due date. So let's say the due date is 25th of January. I'm going to click on submit. As I do that, here let's go to the Google Sheet, and you can see that the information has been received here. Now to connect this sheet with Pabbly Connect, I'm going to click on extensions, go to add-ons, get add-ons. And here we have reached the Google Workspace Marketplace. Let's look for Pabbly Connect webhooks. This is the application and you can see that it has already been installed on my system. Now you have to install it. It is a mandate step and then you have to close this window, refresh the page. This is absolutely important, and once we have refreshed it, we are going to wait for a few seconds and then we are going to go back to extensions and you would be able to see Pabbly Connect webhooks here. We are going to go to initial setup. Here you can see another window has appeared and it has already selected the name of the sheet. Now this webhook URL that we had received here, I'm going to copy this, go back to the sheet and paste this over here. Now the trigger column. So the trigger column is the final data column where the data has been added, and for us this is E. So I'm going to write E and now click on send test. So as I do that, here you can see that the test data has been sent successfully, and now let's click on submit and we can see that our configuration is all set. Let's close this window, go back to extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks. Here you can see send on event, click on this. This is absolutely important so that every time the workflow runs, we can receive the response. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to see if we have received the API response, and yes, here it is. This here is the trigger column, timestamp, task name, task list. This is the name of the spreadsheet ID, sheet name, sheet ID. Then we have the row index and we have got notes and due date. Once we have received this information, I'm going to choose my action application as Google Task, as I wish to create a task here. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be to create a task. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Google Task account. Let's click on add new connection, then sign in with Google. Here we have to select the account. So once done, we have to provide the access. This is absolutely secure. I'm going to click on allow. As I do that, here we can see that the authorization has been successful, which basically means that Pabbly Connect is now connected with Google Task. Now we are supposed to map this information. So I'm going to map this, and first I'm going to delete, and now as I go to Google Form, this is the name of my task list. Then we have the task title. So how am I going to map this? Again, as I click on this, this is going to show me the previous step, and this here is the name of the task. Then the notes, basically the description, demo notes. Then we have the due date. So we are supposed to provide the due date in this particular format, but the date that we have received is in a different format. So now I'm going to add an action application over here, which is actually a feature by Pabbly, date time formatter. Let's click on this. The action event here would be to format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. And here the date, first we have to map. So this here is the date. Now what is the format that it is in? So it is in day, month, day and year format. So this is month, day and year format. Now which format do we want it in? So we want it in this format. And now the time zone. So I'm going to select UTC. Okay. And again, two time zone is again UTC. So once done, let's click on save and send test request. And here we have received the date. Once done, I'm going to go back to Google Tasks, refresh the connection by selecting the existing connection. And now here I'm going to fill in the due date. This here is the due date. So once done, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here you can see that we have received the response, which basically means that now a task should be created in Google Task. So I'm going to take you to my Google Tasks now. And yes, here you can see that a task has been created, which basically means that this integration process is a success. But we also need to check this in real. So I'm going to take you back to the Google form, submit another response. Let's say the task name is dummy task. Then we have the notes. So this is dummy description. And then we have the task list. Again, it is my task. And then we have the due date. So the due date here, let's say it is 31st of January. Let's click on submit. So once this is done, what should happen? Automatically a task should be created in Google Tasks. So I'm going to take you to my Google Task account, and yes, here you can see that dummy task has been created, which basically means that our integration is perfect. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So here our trigger application is Google Forms, where the event is new response received. Our action application was Google Task, where the event was to create a task, and we had chosen an action application which is a feature by Pabbly named as Date Time Formatter, and here we had format the date along with the time. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us. Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.